Hi, welcome to today's video. I'm doing something a little bit different today. Rather than doing an opening or an unboxing of something, I'm going to look at a set of cards that have come to mean an awful lot to me. And I think you'll probably have heard of them. They are the Nagaba Evolution collaboration cards. Nagaba, very sought after artist, very well known, and these cards are sought after as well. In today's video we're going to look a little bit at who Nagaba is, some of his other work that he's been famous for. We're going to look at the cards themselves. We're going to have a little bit of a comparison between their style and the more traditional Pokemon cards. We're also going to look at their values and their graded values as well, and whether it's worth pursuing these. As always, please give me a like and a subscribe, and if you have opinions on these cards, leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. The Japanese artist Nagaba was born in Tokyo in 1976. He's since gained international fame for his incredible line drawings. The very simple design of them allows for him to have a slightly humorous approach, which creates a kind of deformation sometimes in the characters that he draws. We can see that most clearly in the evolution cards, which we're going to talk more about in today's video. He has a history of doing collaborations with various brands, including some sports brands such as Nike and Adidas and Asics as well, I believe. He's also done a t-shirt design for Uniqlo for their Peace for All campaign, which by all accounts has sold out, so it's obviously been a success. However, he's probably most famous in terms of his collaborations, at any rate, for his work with the Pokemon Company. In 2021, he did his first collaboration, which saw the release of his interpretation of the Pikachu card, with a gold reverse holo background to it. He was back in 2023 with his infamous Evolution cards. All 9 Evolutions, including the original Eevee, have become very sought after and are actually very rare cards. They had an exclusive Japanese promo release, and as a result of that they have gained massive interest around the world, and have gradually struck up a high value over that time as well. For my money, Nagaba's cards are very unique. The moment I saw them, I knew that I wanted to have them in my collection, and they are completely different from anything else on the market out there. Nagaba's second collaboration with the Pokemon Company was released in Japan on May the 24th, 2023. For 4,800 Japanese yen, which is roughly about 32 American dollars, you could acquire the Eevee's special box, which would contain a card box, a long card box, a playmat, card sleeves, and a deck box. There was also a 9-pocket binder. Now, both of these items were available to buy, but in order to buy them, you had to have won what they termed a lottery via the Japanese Pokemon Center website. This was to try to ensure that it was a fair thing, that plenty of people got a chance to actually get one, as opposed to somebody just going in and buying all of them up. As a result of this, people crashed the Japanese Pokemon Center website. Plenty of sources stated that that website went down as a result of that, which would demonstrate just how popular this was and how sought after it was, even before its full release. You also were able to get hold of the actual cards themselves as promo cards. As the Pokemon Center websites often do, you were able to acquire the cards depending on you having spent money. So for 1,000 yen, which is roughly about $6.50, you would receive a promo card for every 1,000 yen that you'd spent. You also receive promo cards with the purchase of the special box and the pocket binder as well, the 9-pocket binder. With this, people were able to receive the sealed packets of the promo cards, which are somewhat iconic now, in my opinion. Again, they demonstrate Nagaba's simple line style. The very plain white with black text is a beautiful thing. And when you see them at card shows and things like that, it's an exciting thing to come across. Nowadays, you will easily spend upwards of about £20 on a single pack, and each pack contains a single promo card. And obviously there's no guarantee which of the cards you're going to get. So, you know, and there are 9 cards involved in this collaboration, which of course include Eevee, Umbreon, Espeon, Flareon, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Leafeon, I'm testing myself now, Sylveon, of course, and Glaceon. I know all of them. But of course there's no guarantee of which card that you would get in each pack, so you might end up doubling up. All of the evolutions included. To have a complete set of these is actually quite difficult to achieve, and would have been even more difficult to achieve at the time, based on how difficult it was to even get a promo card in the first place. If I had to guess why they went with the evolutions for this second collaboration, I think it's pretty obvious, to be honest. I would guess that it is purely because the Pikachu collaboration in 2021 will have gone so well that they were looking to expand on that success. And what better to do that with than the evolutions? Obviously it naturally lends itself to there being multiple cards in the campaign, in the series, and also they are hugely popular Pokemon. You know, look at the success of the Moonbreon, and Evolving Skies, Prismatic Evolutions as it stands at the moment. They're really popular because people love Eevee and its evolutions. Unsurprisingly, these cards have proven to be enduringly popular. Since their release in 2023, they have only gone up in value. And unsurprisingly, most people who have managed to get hold of these cards have also gone on to get them graded as well. There's a huge market in buying already graded versions of these cards. Indeed, that's how I got mine. I managed to get a complete set at PSA 10, and I love my collection of Nagaba evolution cards. I am so proud to have them as part of my collection, and I would imagine a lot of Pokemon card collectors feel the same way. As you may well have guessed, the most valuable and the most sort of sought after version of these cards is of course the Umbreon. So at £57 for the raw card, Umbreon is the most valuable. At a PSA 10 it sells for around 95, just under 100, and there's around 17,000 of them in the graded population. By far the highest number of PSA 10s in the Evolution Unagaba population of graded cards, which is unusual because, to my understanding anyway, typically speaking, if there are less of them in the graded population, their value increases. But for some reason, there is more of Umbreon than any other evolution, and yet it's also the highest graded value, which doesn't make any sense to me, but I guess, you know, Umbreon is the card du jour, isn't it? The next one, of course, is the straightforward Eevee card, which at a raw price sells for around £30.50. At a PSA 10, it's worth about £75 and has around 11.5 in the graded population. Vaporeon is next. Raw, it sells for around £30 to £31. PSA 10 it sells for around £69, and there are just under 11,000 of those in the population. Sylveon sells at a raw price of £30, with a PSA 10 selling for around 63, and there are around 12,000 of those in the population. Flareon sells for around £25 for its raw form. As a PSA 10 it sells for about 61. And again, there's around 12,000 of those in the graded population. Glaceon sells for about £28 raw, and PSA 10 it sells for about 60. There's around 11,000 Glaceon cards within the graded population. Espeon sells for around £33.50 at raw card. PSA 10 is about 58. And again, there's around 11 to 11,500 of those kicking about. Leafeon sells as £23, by far the cheapest raw Evolution Unagaba card. And as a PSA 10, it sells for 57. There's around 12,000 of these in the population as well. That makes no sense to me. Leafeon's super cute. Why are we doing Leafeon dirty? Why is that worth £23? Can someone shed some light on that for me in the comments? And then last, which again blows my mind, to be honest, because I love this one, Jolteon. At a raw price of £30 and a PSA 10 price of just under £57. And there's around 11,000 of them in the graded population. Honestly, those numbers make no sense to me. As I said at the beginning, generally speaking, if there are less of the card available, then its value goes up. I mean, that could be said across any market. That's the basis of capitalism, isn't it? Surely. However, with these cards, for some reason, it completely bucks that trend. It doesn't seem to matter how many are in the graded population. It really comes down to just how popular the evolution is with the collector. If you have a gradable Unigaba card, those numbers speak for themselves. It is worth getting them graded. Even with the cost of grading, it's worth it. Most of them sort of double in price at least. If you are sitting on raw Unigaba cards, you should be getting them graded. You're missing a trick otherwise. As is so often the case with collections of special cards, special items within big sets of things that people like to collect, the Unigaba evolution cards have proven to be very divisive between Pokemon fans. Some love them, some hate them. Personally, I love them. I think they're unique, I think they're beautiful, I think they're funny, I think they're cute, and I think they really showcase Eevee and its evolutions in a unique and beautiful way. We are inundated at the moment with Eevee related things. I can see why, with the passing of time, some people have decided that they're a bit passé and they're a bit over them. That's absolutely fair enough. What do you think of these cards? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you have any in your collection? Have you got some graded? Let me know in the comments. As always, I'm really grateful to you for watching this today, and this is a little bit of a different thing for me, so I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you'd like me to do more videos like this, where perhaps I look at various historical moments within Pokemon, again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate your interest in this, and I can't wait to hear your opinions in the comments. Take care, speak soon, bye!